Alright, so here we are. This is still notes, lesson 9.2, so we are continuing. And I'm trying to explain to you how to solve quadratic equations using square roots. Okay, so we're going through this method, and we're going to be solving quadratic equations, and we're going to be using square roots, which is the third method for solving quadratic equations. So, one thing you need to know first is that the square root of 9 actually has two answers. The square root of 9 could be 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. It could also equal negative 3. Alright? Because negative 3 times negative 3 equals 9. A negative times a negative is a positive. So the square root of 9 could be either positive 3 or negative 3. So I'll just prove that over here. Because 3 times 3 will equal 9. And negative 3 times negative 3 will also equal 9. So how they write that is that the square root of 9 could equal plus or minus 3. Alright, so let's just continue on that thought. What's the square root of 16? Well, the square root of 16 could be 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. It could also be negative 4, because negative 4 times negative 4, sorry, writing too sloppily, negative 4 times negative 4 also equals positive 16. So the square root of 16 could either equal positive or negative 4. Alright, what about the square root of 25? What's the square root of 25? The square root of 25 could either equal positive or negative 5, so plus or minus 5. Okay? Alright, let's continue. Alright, another thing you need to know is the square root of 0. And the square root of 0 equals 0. Because 0 times 0, 0 multiplied by 0 will give you 0. Simple enough. And the third prerequisite that you need to know is the square root of negative 16. Square root of negative 16. For now, that has no answer. Okay? No answer. And some kids think, no, you could do 4 times negative 4. No, because remember, for a square root, it has to be some number times itself. Okay? And there is no number times itself to give you 16. Because remember, 4 times 4 is positive 16. And negative 4 times negative 4 is also positive 16. Now, as you study math a little longer, instead of saying no answer, you're actually going to say no real solution, no real answer. There's not a real number. There actually is an answer to this. I think we talked about it before. The square root of negative 16 is actually equal to 4i. Sorry, would equal plus or minus 4i. It'll equal positive or negative 4i. But we're not going to worry about that yet. For now, we'll just say, you know what, you can't take the square root of a negative. Okay, now, let's use this square root thing. Here is how you actually use square roots. Here's how you actually use square roots to solve quadratic equations. Now this new method can be used. You use this when you have this type of quadratic when you have this form, ax squared plus c equals 0. Okay? There is no b. B is not in this problem. There's no middle term. Alright, so only use it when ax squared plus c equals 0. That's when you use this square root method. Okay? Alright, the steps that you go through, you isolate the x squared. So step 1, isolate the x squared. Isolate the x squared, and then you take the square root of both sides. And then you take the square root of both sides of the equation. You take the square root of both sides. And when I say both sides, I mean both sides of the equation, both sides of the equal sign. So these are the steps that you're going to take. You're going to isolate the x squared, and then you're going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, in the next video I will go through some examples. We will go through those steps.